G'day, I'm Matt Noble from Gold Derby with three executive producers of Jimmy Kimmel Live. We've got Molly McNearney, co-head writer, Erin Irwin, who runs the digital department, and Jennifer Sharon, who runs the field team. I just wanted to start off by asking each of you, what is the most important thing to get right on Jimmy Kimmel Live? We'll kick things off with Molly.
Oh, it's a great question. The most important thing to get right. Well, this might not sound funny, but for us, I think facts are essential right now. At a time where we're holding some politicians accountable, it's very important. And particularly in a time where there are a lot of news channels who aren't necessarily feeding people facts, it's important that when we are responding to things that we work only in truth. And so that's very important to us. And I also think it's imperative that we come up with original content every day. That's the pressure of a writer's room of any late night show. And it's a big challenge, but we do a really great job of it with 19 writers. And that's important to us too. And also to make the guests feel really comfortable here and give them great comedy bits and things to participate in that they might not be able to on other shows.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, facts, obviously, number one, and then the tone, really, right? Like we're trying to be funny, and sometimes there's certain things that are hard to make funny, that we might avoid, or we just have to make sure it's done the right way.
Totally.
Jennifer.
I think, coming from the field production side of things, like the monologue and content, is being able to give Jimmy a variety of things to choose from. So like, to speak to what Molly said and Erin, like, you want to speak on facts, you want to have the right tone, you want to have the right comedy, and giving him the opportunity to pick from a variety of things to be able to communicate that on a nightly basis. And it's a tough thing because we are like a news-based variety show. So we get here at like early morning and you start moving quickly on ideas based on what's in the news. So we have an exceptional team here who's able to turn things around incredibly quickly and efficiently. And the quality is so good that it hopefully leaves Jimmy with a lot of opportunity to air whatever he thinks is best in his voice each night.
And with each of your like specific roles on the show, what's the biggest challenge that you face with making the show, Molly?
I think coming up with original ideas is probably the biggest challenge. Every day is different, but it's also very much the same. Every late night show, we're deadline driven. The day is pretty much structured the same. We are really at the mercy of the news cycle every day, which can be some days when Donald Trump has flatulence in the court are easier than others. When the news cycle is filled with really dark, depressing things, those are a lot harder to make funny. Our job is really to connect with the audience every night and make it feel like a conversation. So we're all kind of absorbing the same stuff all day on the news and in social media. And our job at the end of the day is to feel like you're sitting with an old friend, like breaking it all down. And so I think doing that in a relevant way, but also in an original way every night it definitely has its challenges. But I think we've done a really great job of keeping it current.
Yeah. Erin?
And for social, we have to post everything that we think feels appropriate in the right way at the right time. And so it's about cutting down the monologue, really, essentially, and how much of the setup do you need for the bits? You need context. It's so important, but you don't want to over-explain things on social. It's a little different than on the show. So there's just a balancing act there. And then also with titling things and captioning things, making sure that we make it so that, it's enticing and people want to watch it, but not clickbaity and gross.
Oh, Jennifer.
I think similar to what I said before, it's the ability to turn things around as quickly as possible for Jimmy and the writers. Like to Molly's point, the writers come up with original content every day, and it's our job to take that content and be able to produce man on the street bits, scripted comedy bits with celebrities, commercial parodies, or anything that is applicable for that night. And we are incredible perfectionists on this show in all aspects of that. Writing, producing, directing, our art department, our wardrobe department, our casting department, and everyone's incredibly resourceful. And I think what's tough is like we are perfectionists, but also we have to be able to produce incredibly efficiently to be able to turn things around so fast. So also it's like trying to win the war, not the battle. And like, okay, we're going to get this because we know this is good enough for tonight versus a bit that may air a couple nights from now. We can put more time into it. But again, I think it's just balancing that each night to make sure that we're providing the content that Jimmy needs. And then I also manage the edit post show. So it's also like trying to make sure that, the show is in itself gets out quickly and efficiently, and the guests look good and Jimmy looks good, and that all of the work that went in for the day gets completed well at the end of the day. So
late night TV has such a rich history. And now Jimmy's been part of that, at least through this show, for 2 decades. He's the veteran. And it's also a crowded landscape too. There's lots of late night shows. Like, how would you guys describe the sort of like what's distinctive about Jimmy's voice in the late night sort of world and late night history? What does he bring?
I think Jimmy is effortless, but people don't realize how much effort is behind him and how much he puts into the show every day. I mean, we start at 7 o'clock in the morning writing, and every single thing goes through him. He is a perfectionist, but he doesn't seem that way on television. I know that sounds weird, but I feel like he's like, it's like having a friend you're watching on TV, and and watching a conversation between two friends every time he has a guest on the show. He cares deeply about the product, but he has this casualness about him that makes it feel very approachable. So I think he also, in the last few years, has gone deeper into political humor, which was never an intention of his. But I think when you have Donald Trump in dominating the news cycle every day, our job is to comment on it and to not normalize his behaviors. And he has gotten really good at holding people accountable while making it very approachable to the average listener, viewer.
The one thing that he does exceptionally well, and is like, I would put him in a class of his own on this, is the way that he interviews the guests. He's engaged, he listens. And yes, all of the hosts are prepared with segment producers do an exceptional job of, helping him prep for these interviews with questions, and they do pre-interviews with the guests. But ultimately, when it comes down to the show, Jimmy is coming up with those questions, but then follow-up questions. He's listening to their answers, and it's a genuine moment where there's like, you feel like you're watching two friends have dinner together. And it's a closeness that makes the audience engage more and makes you like Molly's point, he feels incredibly relatable and very effortless in that side of things as well.
Yeah, like Jimmy doesn't think of himself as a celebrity. Like, here's a little side story. Like, when we came up with mean tweets, celebrities read mean tweets, we kept saying, we want you to do it. He's like, yeah, but I'm not going to be in a bit that has the word celebrity in it because I'm not a celebrity. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You are a celebrity. And he does not think of himself as a celebrity. He thinks of himself as the guy who's hosting celebrities on his show. So I think that really helps with the audience. Like, you feel like your guy is up there talking to these celebrities, where he just doesn't put himself in that category at all. And I think it makes him very approachable.
Yeah.
He just has a genuine curiosity about people, so that comes off. I think people can feel that, and it's the same with his monologues. He's passionate about it. He cares about it. He's reading the news. These are his opinions. It's not that somebody's putting words in his mouth and he's a puppet for anybody. I mean, this is who he is, and I think that our audience knows that.
He is an incredibly caring and deeply sensitive person. And that comes across in these interviews, in his monologue, and in the staff and crew on a daily basis. Like, we've been on the show for 21 years, on the air for 21 years, and there's a familial environment here. And I think people feel that when they come, and that starts with him. And the things that he does to take care of everybody here day in and day out through strikes and COVIDs and all those things, like, it's exceptional. And he breeds a sense of loyalty and makes people around him want to work harder because they're so appreciative of him.
And this might be like into that. I think, Molly, you said before how like it can be difficult doing a daily sort of show, and I can imagine
Yes.
that comes a real grind. Where do you each find sort of joy in the grind of daily late night TV?
I live for chaos. I love the moments like up until the last minute where something's not working, like a bit might not be working and we need to re-edit it, or a celebrity would like to change something last minute. That's the part of live television that I absolutely love. And it's also what I loved at the Oscars, like when the Donald Trump Truth Social post came in. Like I love the unexpected moments that you can feel in live TV.
I think we've all become comfortable in the chaos. And it doesn't even feel chaotic anymore. We're just so used to not stopping for 12 hours a day that when we are on hiatus, we are like lost and don't know what to do with ourselves.
Yeah, I think the more crazy and the more impossible something seems, the more that I think we all lean into it and want to get it done. And that's what like gets us excited and inspired every day. It's more fun. I think if I was on a film, I'd get bored because it was like, wait, we have to wait a year to see the end result. Like we know at the end of tonight, we're putting a show on the air, good or bad, and then we get to do it all again tomorrow. And that's exciting. I think it's fun. It keeps us on our toes.
Yeah, both our like successes and our losses, like the things we're not that proud of, they're both short-lived. So it's like it's great that the things that were maybe duds are short-lived, but it also stinks when your success is super short-lived. Like you can celebrate a good bit for about 4 minutes and then you gotta start thinking about the next day's show.
Yeah. Do any of you watch the show live at night, or like is it too late because you've got an early start the next day?
No, we're up late. We're all up late, usually working after we put our kids to bed. But I watch it on social media, just to make sure everything looks good at the, because we've seen rehearsal, we've read it all on paper, we've watched the taping live. I don't know about you guys if you watch it on the air sometimes, probably, right?
I watch the competition. I feel like I've seen ours.
Yeah.
And Jen and Aaron have to watch it back because Jen is vital in editing the show. Aaron is vital in making sure it is on social media and it's done properly. I take a victory lap for everybody and then I come home and then I will watch the competition because I like to see what they're doing.
Yeah, that's good. Is it hard, Molly, watching the competition not to get like, I don't know, like sort of go, oh, well, now we can't do that, or now like, like, is it tricky? Like,
yeah, I think there are times I'm like, oh man, I wish we had thought of that. And then there are other times I think, wow, we did a much better job with that tonight. So, I mean, there's, ups and downs with it, but I have a deep respect for anyone doing late night television, also Saturday Night Live, and also journalists right now. Like, I think it is impossible. Like we cannot escape the news cycle, which I think has gotten pretty dark. And I think all of us, late night SNL, having to ingest all of this all day, every day, and then try to make it entertaining and funny is a very daunting task. And I have total respect for my peers who are on the other shows doing it.
yeah. Like also you guys talked about the Oscars, and with the Oscars, Jimmy gets to host, you guys shift over and produce the show. Also, could I just say, we're an awards website at Gold Derby, and I think a lot of us thought this year's Oscars was one of the best sort of shows that we've had in a lot of time, with the different musical items and clips, and it was just a really lovely way the whole piece was put together. Was fantastic. How different is it working on something like the Oscars to Jimmy Kimmel Live? Because you've got the same host, same monologue, there's celebrities that he's introducing and things, but it's sort of a like event that you're working on.
I think we're perfectly trained for it. I think Aaron, Jen, like live TV producers are ideal, in my opinion, to produce the Oscars because you have that spontaneity. I think that movie producers are incredible and they've done a great job at producing the Oscars. But I personally think that live TV producers are the way to go for a live award show. I think it's very similar to Jimmy Kimmel Live. I would say the only difference is the pressure and the length. Like it's, 3.5 hours. And I think there's a lot more pressure on an Oscars broadcast than there is on a late night show.
Yeah. You go with the late night show, it's like you can always, if it doesn't go well, oh, well, we've got tomorrow night. We can
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
we can come back tomorrow and we can have another crack at it. Whereas the Oscars,
Yeah.
you hopefully will have the chance in a year's time to have another crack at it. But
Yeah, and it's highly scrutinized.
Yeah.
Thank you for the compliment. I'd like to tell you that we also love Gold Derby while prepping for the Oscars because we tend to go to your site to see what the predictions are to help us better rate the show. So thanks to you guys over there.
Yeah, because I guess you want you want some jokes about things that are going to be winning that night, and no one knows the winners until the envelopes opened up, other than
Exactly.
even
Right.
sometimes after the envelopes open up, no one knows. So,
That's right.
did you each have a favorite moment from the past year of Jimmy Kimmel Live?
I loved our Dr. Dre show. We did Dre Day. He got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in front of us, and he hadn't done a late night talk show in over 30 years. And, you know, he never does interviews like this or shows like this. So we were very excited to have him. We made it, you know, the whole hour. Dr. Dre, we had Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, and we had Eminem in a bit. We did Dre's Anatomy. And it was just it was a lot of fun having all those guys here all day. And it was a special show. It was great.
I also feel like the show after the Oscars was one of my favorites. I know that's one that a lot of people on our show liked. I thought it showed a nice variety of what we do on our show. It's like the quintessential late night show where you had comedy. Jimmy's has solid monologue about the Oscars. Then we had Guillermo on the red carpet. And then Dwayne Johnson was our lead guest, and Guillermo did a comedy bit with him. And then we had Robert De Niro on and doing like some political stuff with Trump. So I think it showed a nice breadth of what we do and played to our strengths. So that's one show that I was really proud of.
I really loved Jimmy's response to Trump's most recent Truth Social post. And I can tell you that when that post came in, Jimmy, it was like watching a child on Christmas. I mean, I hadn't seen it yet. I had dropped the kids off at school and I came home and he was like pacing. He's like, have you looked at your phone? I'm like, what happened? I thought it was something like personal in our family. I'm like, what? And he's like, we got a Christmas present. And I love watching Jimmy and the writers get energized by things like that. And because we kind of have to talk about Trump every night, just again, because we were responding to the daily news cycle. But this one was personal and it was about us. And that was really exciting for us. And I love nights like that. I mean, we have too much material on nights like that. It's great.
Yeah, and we blow out everything that we were planning to do. We you know, Jimmy sends us that Truth Social post. We're like, oh, there goes everything. And so we're also like, it's great. He's going to be in the best mood all day.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know if Trump had any idea how happy that stuff makes him, he might not do it.
And just thinking about Jimmy now, it is like so interesting how like sometimes on the show he can be the sort of adult in the room speaking sort of truth to power and all that sort of stuff. And sometimes he can be so childlike and cheeky as well. And like the way he can sort of shift that but maintain a very similar presence in both is very like sort of quite a fun dynamic that he brings. To finish off, Molly, you started off by saying that it was sort of like the important thing in the world we live in today is getting the facts right and being truthful in what you guys are doing. What do you think with Jimmy Kimmel Live is sort of the truth of the show? What do you think, like, you know, there was a sort of like, what is at its core the truth of Jimmy Kimmel Live?
Okay, maybe I'll say this. I think the truth of Jimmy Kimmel Live is that we're on your side. How about that? Like we're on the side of our viewers. We are looking out for you, but also trying to just make you have a better day and bring some joy to you. And we're on the side of our guests and celebrating them and their work and being present there for them and hoping to help them look good. That might sound cheesy, but I would say the truth of Jimmy Kimmel Live is that we're on your side.
Nice.
Yeah, I think to lean in on that, like genuine is the word that comes to mind for, especially in terms of like Jimmy and how he presents the show on a nightly basis. And also lighthearted and like humor. I think it's like really, I guess to echo one thing that Molly said, it's like the idea is that people can tune into late night and escape, but unfortunately, like the escape still is dense with politics right now. But Jimmy presents it in a way that you can hopefully consume it in a way that you're okay with it, whether it be laughing at it, or whether it be absorbing it and, you know, reacting to it. And then with the interviews with the guests, it's the same thing. It's hard because I feel like we're supposed to have fun, and I think we are having fun. So I think that's like, yeah, sorry to be repetitive, but I think that is the truth.
It's good.
Also, we're fucking tired. That's the truth.
We are tired.
Erin?
Yeah, I think that, you know, if anyone came here and met us, you know, this group of people, not us three, but the 250 something people who are in this building, I think that they would fall in love. We have just the best group of smart, funny, hardworking people who are, you know, family people, and we all love each other. And, you know, we love Jimmy, and it does start with him. He's not in here with cue cards, but it's all because of him. That we really are a family, and that sounds like the worst thing in the world to say, but 21 years, I think we have the right to say it. And anyone I know who's come here, even my daughter, when she comes to visit, doesn't want to leave. Like, you know, our audience, our guests, and our families, when they come visit, are like, I just love it here. You get to work here every day. And we are in the grind, and it's hard and frustrating and exhausting and not, you know, all fun and games, but you really feel the love when you come here, and it's genuine.
I remember like when I first started the show 21 years ago, just being in awe at how everyone was just eager to help. Like I've never worked with so many people who are just like yes people. Everyone's like, yes, we can do that. Yes, how do we get that? Like from our props department to our lighting guys to our editors to our field, like it is a big giant group of people eager to make things happen. And that makes life a lot easier at work. People have really positive attitudes and genuinely care about the result, the product at the end of the night.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a tough job. I mean, all joking aside with Molly, like it is exhausting. And especially for people who have kids or are trying to juggle both personal and professional, like, you know, like Erin said earlier, like we are here till sometimes 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. We go home, try to put our kids to bed who are all like under the age of 10. And then we're back to work. Then we're up early to get them off to school and then back on email. And then we're back at it again. And I think there has to be a sense of like pure passion for this and the thrill that keeps us moving, because otherwise I think you would just, you'd be exhausted and you wouldn't be driven to do this. And I think you find also that drive in the people you work with. And I think people here really are proud of the work that they do. And it's kind of like we're all in the trenches together. Like going back to what we said earlier, where the crazier the opportunity, like we used to joke, like today's miracle is tomorrow's quota. And that's been the day's mantra since like day one. And now we're in year 21. So like thinking about that, we've really continued just to raise the bar. Nobody's ever been like, I just can't do it. Like if they say I can't do something, it's because they've exhausted all efforts. And I just, you know, I really do. I look at our team of 250, I get the chills thinking about it. I am so proud of being part of this show. I am incredibly grateful for the team that we have, because you're only as good as the team that you're working with. And I wouldn't change it for anything. So it's a lot of work, but it's incredibly gratifying too.
Oh, awesome. And you've each got more than 10 Emmy nominations. We really hope this year you can take out an Emmy win for Jimmy Kimmel Live or the Oscars. And look, if you're watching this video and you're hoping to host the Emmys this year, you can go to goldderby.com to see who's in front in our odds, so you know what to write your monologue material on. And thank you to all three for chatting. This was and for your time today. It was such a fun talk.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.